What's up, guys? This is Chris Albert from Warrior Soul Fitness. I am fresh back from Olympia. Had a really good time out there in Vegas going around the expo. I got to go to C.T. Fletcher's new movie premiere, My Magnificent Obsession, and I got to go to the grand opening of Iron Addicts Gym, Las Vegas. I put some footage up a couple of days ago of me and a few other guys training over at Iron Addicts Gym, along with some footage of just some shenanigans with Mike Rashid and Big Rob and a few other people from the Alpha team. So I hope you guys had a chance to enjoy that. Today, I wanted to answer a question. And this question comes from a gentleman who emailed me, and he said he has a really big problem because he is skinny fat. Basically, what's going on is he's got a little bit of a gut, and he's got really skinny arms and skinny legs. And so what happens is when he's trying to put on muscle to take care of the skinny arms and skinny legs, he eats a lot, so he adds to his gut. And then when he is trying to lean out, his skinny arms and skinny legs get skinnier. So what's somebody in this type of situation to do? In a lot of ways, the skinny fat situation is probably the most confusing problem that we have in the fitness industry that we've been kind of commissioned to try to solve. But most people get it really wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. To the world, you guys who are skinny fat look skinny, and to trainers, you look skinny, and to fitness professionals who have not done their research and who understand the problem of being normal weight, metabolically obese, which is the scientific term for skinny fat, then there's a simple answer to this, and they're going to tell you to eat everything in sight and lift weights. Eat everything in sight and lift weights. Eat tons of carbs, eat junk food, eat Twinkies, and lift weights, and that will take care of your skinny fat problem. The problem is this: they get it half right. Yes, you need to lift weights, and lifting weights is one of those steps that I'm going to go over with you. But if you start overeating and you start treating yourself as if this is just a skinny problem, then you're going to have a lot of issues, and I'll go through why. Your major problem is not that you are skinny, it is that you are metabolically obese. What does that mean? Well, it means that you more than likely have a problem with insulin sensitivity, particularly if most of your fat is gathered around your midsection. And so what you need to consider here is that if you start overeating carbohydrate and you start eating tons of calories and crap, you're not at a point metabolically where you can convert any of that into muscle. The greater likelihood, if you're insulin resistant, meaning your body does not respond to the hormone insulin, which shuttles nutrients throughout your body. Your muscles are not responding to the hormone insulin. So insulin is going to have no choice but to shuttle nutrients to your fat cells, right? So because of this, you start overeating calories, all you're going to do is get fatter. So what do you have to do? Well, first things first, let's talk about diet. The biggest thing you need to consider when you are trying to get out of a skinny fat situation is your insulin sensitivity. So that means you should eat a diet that promotes insulin sensitivity. That means not overeating carbs. That means eating a good amount of fats, which are anti-inflammatory and are going to help to lower the insulin response of your meals. And a moderate amount of protein, not an crazy huge amount of protein, but a moderate amount of protein. And that means probably about 30% of your calories should come from protein, about 60% of your calories should come from fats, and about 10% of your calories should come from carbs. This is a ketogenic diet, and it's been demonstrated to be one of the diets that is most effective at getting people out of insulin resistance. You could read my blog that I'm going to post along with this video. Please check my resources. But a great book you can read as well is Volek and Finney's Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Performance. I think I've recommended that book like 50 times over the last few days at Olympia. 2, this is something also a lot of other trainers aren't going to tell you to do, and that is increase your level of physical activity. Studies have demonstrated that even sitting for 2 hours a day without interruption can seriously affect your insulin sensitivity and make you insulin resistant. So the solution here is, if you're at work and you have to sit a lot, get a standing desk, or every half hour get up and do a set of squats, or after your meals in particular, which is when insulin resistance really starts to set in if you're sitting down, you should go for a 10 to 15 minute walk. And again, go to the blog and check the research. You really do not want to be one of these people who sits down thinking, oh, I need to rest to build muscle. The fact of the matter is, you need to increase your physical activity as much as you can. Keep moving to decrease the amount of insulin resistance you have and allow yourself to be better able to absorb the nutrients that you take in by becoming more insulin sensitive by moving more. In addition to that, you should also be doing cardio, probably about 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week at least, which is also demonstrated to increase insulin sensitivity. Now, the last factor all of you are going to agree with me on, so I'm not going to speak on it much, but one of the greatest ways of increasing insulin sensitivity is through resistance training. Now, you guys are going to ask me for specific protocols for resistance training and what would be best to get out of skinny fat. Science actually demonstrates that there is no difference between low rep sets at 5 repetitions or high rep sets at 12 to 15 repetitions, though studies have demonstrated that the higher rep sets are probably better for building muscle. The point is, just lift weights. One thing that you can do and tweak so that you do become more and more insulin sensitive is to keep your rest periods under 1 minute. There is no real difference between 2 minutes and 5 minute rest periods, but the under 1 minute rest period has really been demonstrated to increase positive hormonal response to resistance training. So I hope this helps. I hope this isn't too off the wall for you guys, and I hope that you have been doing your research and reading some of the other stuff that I put out there. And if you have, it really shouldn't be. This should all seem perfectly logical. But if you haven't and you have questions for me, please hit me up at gettingyoushredded@gmail.com or post on this video and make a comment. For those of you who really like this and think this is something that everybody should know, please share the video. And please check the blog out. I'm going to post a link to the blog below, or you can just go over to blogs@warriorsoulfitness.com. Remember, I'm just a talking head, and you should believe nobody here on YouTube until you've checked their references. It's Chris Albert, Warrior Soul Fitness. Peace.